in Cloudland Canyon this weekend, guys. Definitely wanted to check out. Had a really great time here. Before we get into it, do me a favor, reach down there and hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Hey, if I earn it, give me a like, and give me a comment. Where should we go next? The overview of this campground was great. Went in, and I think most of it has just been redone. Everything was in really good shape. We stayed in the East Rim, which I believe is the older campground, but it had just been refurbished. We did drive over to the West Rim. Great campground. I don't think it's that old. It had been refurbished before the East. East or West is going to be awesome. You're right down from the overlook if you're at the East Rim. So if that's something you want to be near, East Rim would be your spot. West Rim is a pretty good ways around the other side of the canyon. So I'm not sure about the overlooks and some different things there. We did a few trails, but the trailhead was close to the campground, so the sites were level. I was really surprised when I looked at this site, the way it was shaped. I thought I was going to have to level side to side. You know what? Perfectly level side to side. I'd put the jack under it, jacked it up off the ball, and this thing was setting perfect. Put down the stabilizer was a really easy one. The sites that we pulled into were a little bit strange, however. They're pull-through site, but like the picnic table and everything was up near where the truck would be rather than back where the camper is. So you kind of sit outside your camper or you walked over to the picnic table. The two didn't kind of extend like most places. And there were several sites like that there. So be ready for that. Now there were some other sites that were basically one big deck, and then there was some others that had a drop off. I mean, they were all different, but it was a little different. I had never seen it the way this one was set up. It could easily have been just an extension of your camp, you know, walking out of your camper, but for some reason they put it on the other end. Maybe I don't really know why. Yeah, it for the most part it's a typical campground. You know, you've got gravel. Pretty decent sized sites, nothing major. You didn't feel like you were alone, but you weren't parking lot camping either. So I would definitely give it that. There were some sites that kind of felt that a little better than others, but for the most part there were no real bad sites there. They were all pretty even. I didn't see one that really stood out. In the drive-through you might see one or two that did, but nothing worth mentioning that I thought of. Everything looked fairly level. Everything was pretty spot on. You know, the next thing is the trails. When I first went down to the overlook and I started looking over, I'm like, wow, it was kind of underwhelming, to be honest with you. I was thinking, you know, it's cool. But, you know, I'm also used to seeing things like Zion and Yellowstone, and when you go back to a small canyon like this, it just doesn't have the wow factor. It's beautiful. Alright, so don't let me say it's not. However, it was quickly redeemed. We did two trails. They kind of split off and made their own. One was, I forget the name of the falls, Hemlock, I believe it was Hemlock Falls, and the other was Cherokee Falls. Coming from the campground, if you'll go there at the East Rim, there's some cabins. You can walk between the cabins, and there's some steps down to the trail. The trail otherwise starts at the main overlook back at the visitor center. So if you're staying in the campground, you do have that kind of nice, takes probably a quarter mile off the trail. From there, you know, it steps down, and there's two or three little zigzags before it gets to where it winds off to go to Hemlock or Cherokee. Now, when you get down to the bottom of the trail, you're going to see, if you go left, you'll go to Cherokee. I'm going to tell you, if you're worried about stairs, just go left. Don't even go to Hemlock. It's a short hike from that Y. I mean, there's hardly any stairs, and it's a really easy flat hike. So Cherokee, from that point, easy. Not a problem, and a really nice waterfall. Great area to hang out. There were tons of people there when we were there. We were there on a holiday weekend, so it's kind of like, you know, there were people everywhere, and the weather was in the 70s, maybe low 80. Yeah, very, very busy stuff. Now, Hemlock, however, you're going to go down the hill a little further, and you're going to see a lot of stairs. I think they said it's like 600 stairs one way. That's pretty cool. I mean, but they had plenty of spaces to stop, and there were, you know, kind of break areas where you could go a few steps, sit down, kind of relax, and just enjoy it. I mean, we sat down a couple times for the most part, though. I mean, you could stop and, you know, act like you're taking a picture, get your breath, and keep going. Worked out just right. Sutton Gulch also meets up down at the bottom. So when you get to the bottom of the stairs, if you go right, it continues on Sutton Gulch. If you go left, it goes on up to the falls, which is a fairly short hike from that point. Again, there are great falls not to miss. Sutton Gulch, if you'll go just up, so take that right, and it'll be a bridge that goes across. Really cool area to kind of observe things around it. Plus, if you go a little further and you walk down to the creek, there's a waterfall there, and you can actually go behind that waterfall. There were some people doing it while we were there. They were coming out soaking wet, loving it. So, by all means, if you're there and it's a really hot day, that might be a perfect thing to do. And it's all absolutely gorgeous. I have to give them credit. All the overlook where I thought I was going to be in real trouble was eased when I went to the falls. They were beautiful, and the trails were great, well maintained. Few spots the railings probably need to be repaired, but for the most part everything else was very good. The walking trail itself, great. The steps, a couple bent steps, but otherwise all good. Now, the steps going down, I'm going to tell you, I saw multiple people with dogs having to carry their dogs out of those steps. So, if you're going with your dog, and look, that's fine, whatever, if that's your thing, good, go for it. But remember, you're probably going to have to carry that dog back out. So if you're going there, be ready for that, because it will absolutely tear their paws up. This is a metal grate. It's going to hurt. They're going to get to a point where they probably won't even go. They'll lock up and won't move any further. And like I said, I saw at least 4 different people carrying their dogs out. Next thing we did, of course, you know, when we're in an area, we like to do more than just the campground, or even more than just the state park or the immediate area. Like to kind of go, well, we were less than about 20 miles to Chattanooga. Chattanooga has several good breweries. We decided we were going to go up there. We hit 4 different breweries, ran into a really, really cool farmer's market, kind of a carnival or festival kind of an atmosphere. It's just a great day. You know, we spent some time doing a drive up to Lookout Mountain. We were going to go to Ruby Falls or Lookout Mountain, and decided when we got there, hey, this is a holiday weekend, and yeah, the parking lots were packed. And Lookout Mountain and Ruby Falls is cool, but I'm definitely not going to fight with that level of people trying to get through it. It just wasn't worth it to me. Maybe it is to you. By all means, go right ahead if you do. I'd been there before, so I know what to expect. Great places. Not going to wait in that line. The main event, of course, was the breweries we went to. And we went to 4 of Odd Story. Really cool place. That was our kickoff brewery. That was the one I really expected to be the coolest one, and had it not been the first one, it probably would have been. But the second place we went was Five Wits. Five Wits had excellent beer. They had such a cool atmosphere. This place, it's almost like they had 3 different bars in one surrounding their brewery. They had like a restaurant type atmosphere with a bar on one side. They had like the open bar and the outside seating, live music was another bar. And then they had like the sports bar, or the entertainment bar, I should say. Had this giant, like, movie theater size screen. Had kind of a stadium. I say stadium seating, but it's actually stadium standing. They had benches up where you could like stand, and had a place to put your beer, and it was multi-tiered so that you could watch games or different things. In front of it, they had some couches and different stuff. When this place is really kicking, it's something special, I'll bet you. So Five Wits is definitely one to check out. Then we went to Dynamo inside of Hello Monte. Now, we had lunch there. It was pretty good. I'm not going to brag on it. I would give it a 3.5 probably. It was good food. Great food? No. Good? Yes. The beer? Not great. I wasn't impressed with their beer at all. It was a restaurant that kind of had a brewery attached to it as a gimmick. So, not really my thing. But we checked it out. We got a sticker, I think, and it was kind of neat. So from there, we decided we're going to go to one last place and then head back to the campground. We went to Naked River, which is right next to their Finley Stadium. I believe it's like their baseball or something. Chattanooga has a minor league team. Definitely a cool area. When we got there, there was the farmer's market. It was just a really cool thing. Went into Naked River, and I wanted to say Snake River. Naked River, great big brewery, big open field. Don't know if they had food or not. I think they did, but I'm not sure. The beer I got wasn't the best. It's a hard one to brew though, so I'm not going to judge their beer based on the beer I got, because I got a session IPA, and again, those can and can't be. They're a hard one to brew well, so I'll give them a pass on that. We went upstairs. We kind of played a little shuffleboard. Just a cool area. Then we went and walked around the outside area and kind of talked to a guy who was selling some dehydrated candy, and he was kind of interested in having the camera. So I thought, well, I'll give you a chance to give me your commercial. Give me a sample or two, and back to the campground we went. Had a few beers there at the campground and brought a few back with me. Just a really, really good weekend. Can't recommend it enough. Hope you guys enjoy it. Again, hit those buttons below. So we're going to start out in Cloudland Canyon. We're going to start out on the East Rim campground. Both campgrounds are fairly small. I mean, they're a good size, and they're both in great condition. I don't know if I would choose one over the other. Did miss just a little bit of footage in the West Rim, so you won't see me coming into the campground, but you'll see where the majority of that campground. So I apologize for that. Yep, just one small loop in this one. Couple hosts. They had a host that was in a tent, which I thought was a little different, but it worked out just fine. And would definitely recommend Cloudland Canyon to visit. And you'll see a little later on some of the hiking trails. It's a really great area. But take a look at the maps and kind of figure out. Didn't do the best job filming these, I know, but it gives you a lay of the land roughly. That did it for the east rim. Now we're going to jump to the west. You can see I'm about, there's some pull-through sites that I've gone to the bottom of those pull-throughs. So if you look to your left, if you can see anything, that's what was left off of it when we were coming in. The rest of this campground, the loop through the woods, is all there. Again, everything I saw here was meticulously well maintained. Looked to be an excellent campground. Definitely recommend it. So we've pulled down here to the main overlook. There's a lot of construction going on. They've got a lot of stuff taped off, so I don't know what we can get to. But I can see a pretty good rock wall over here, and we're gonna go check that out. Here we are, main overlook. It's an impressive view. I mean, it's cool. It's not just overwhelmingly awesome. It's not the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen, but into perspective, it's a pretty cool place. Let's go. Cherokee Falls and Hemlock Trail, so the waterfall trail. We're starting at the campground. Pretty short distance into it. You can already see the falls from up top, so even if you don't want to hike down a long ways, get all the way to the falls, you can go down to the top of this trail from the campground and still see it. It's not going to be quite the view, but it'll still be something. Wow, this is cool. Check this out. Busy trail down here. Short trail, a whole lot of stairs. There are a ton of people. Temperatures are good right now, so
you can get under the waterfall.
Not too bad. seen more than one guy carrying his dog, if you just saw that. That's the second one I've seen so far. One carried his dog all the way up the steps. So if you bring your dog down here, realize their paws are going to be hurt. You might want to leave them at home. Great waterfalls though, they really are. They're short trails, with a lot of steps to the other one. This one had hardly any. The lookout, I was a little kind of concerned with this place. Coming down to the waterfalls, really cool hike. It's not like overly stupid strenuous. Even the big hill going to Hemlock is doable because you have sections of stairs. They have sitting platforms every so often. They've got a few flat spots in between them. You can do those trails, but trust me, and they're worth it. They have the big finish that you're looking for in a trail. You get there and you're like, wow, this is a great waterfall. I'm really glad I took this hike. I got out, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't know how you feel. I feel like I'm gonna die halfway up. But once I'm done, and for the rest of the day, I feel awesome. Probably the best I feel ever is right after a big hike like this. First brewery here in Chattanooga. Odd story. Take a look around. Grounds here are pretty awesome. First taste of beer, I got the Monkey's Heart, I think it was. It's actually really good. I think my wife got one of their wheats. Just a cool place. Already I can tell you this one is probably one that stays pretty busy. They just opened and there was a line of people to get in, so lots of kids. And again, there's a play area in the back over here. Swings over here that my wife had to sit in, so but it's always a good time when we get to go to the breweries. So guys, stick around, there's a couple more coming today. Empty parking lot when we got here. Full parking lot after one beer. Holiday weekend, everybody's pretty busy. 5 Wits right here is where we're going into next. Kind of in downtown Chattanooga. Pretty cool area though. So at 5 Wits, I got their Sunblaze, just an American style IPA, and I'm gonna tell you, really good beer. Definitely want to check this one out. Looks like they got a little live music playing over here. Nice lazy Sunday afternoon kind of place to hang out. But then there's bars everywhere, huge big screen inside. Just a pretty neat atmosphere. It's looks like there's a big soccer game. Not really my thing, but you know, whatever. I won't bash them too bad. But the rest of the place is pretty cool. It's a little urban for me. I prefer a little more rural type setting. I'm good with it. Definitely good beer. Definitely a good hangout spot. So the brewery there is Dynamo. It's a Hello Monty restaurant. They're kind of together. Decent restaurant. Beer was mediocre. Still a pretty cool place. Worth a visit. We came down here to a place called Naked River Brewing. Bit of a festival going on. There's all kinds of stuff down here. Vendors everywhere. Food trucks. I wish we'd waited to eat now, because this looks really badass. A cool place to walk into. It's a really cool brewery. Their beer was not great, but their location and the brewery itself is really cool. What I got was a session IPA, which is hit or miss. They're a hard one to brew. It's drinkable, but not great. So I won't talk about the quality of their beer a whole lot, but they were cool enough to do me a good sticker trade. Again, really cool place. We're upstairs right now, kind of by ourselves. Big festival going on outside. Just a cool atmosphere. Chattanooga is always a fun city to go into, though, so always have had fun here. Had some bad experiences, but still had a good time. So definitely one might be worth checking out. Definitely a pretty cool place to kind of run into. Tons of, it looks like it's an every Sunday thing. Shop local market kind of thing. Vegetables, meats, all kinds of crafts, some flowers, different stuff. It's just really cool. If you're in the area on a Sunday, check it out. This guy wants to try something. Let's
This is Samuel Clark with Clark's Candy. We got freeze-dried candy. Berry Skittles, sour Skittles, or
original rainbow drop.
We got original Skittles freeze-dried. Hold your hand out just like that, and I'll get you hopefully 1, maybe 3. Takes out all the moisture, makes it a crunchy, melt-in-your-mouth texture, like popcorn, cereal, cotton candy sort of texture. Skittles are the most popular. We also have Nerds clusters. Caramel M&Ms are a little low right now because it's the end of the day. Peanut brittle, cherry marshmallows, Starburst, Fruit Roll-Ups, sour airheads, and Lucky Charms marshmallows. Just like cereal, same taste and texture.
Alright, far enough away that the music's out, but Finley Park, or Finley Stadium, I guess you could say, is here in Chattanooga. Looks like it's an every Sunday thing. Man, food trucks galore, tons of vendors. Definitely worth checking out. So if you're in town, we came down here for Naked River Brewing and kind of ran across this. Glad we did. You never know what you'll find when you start exploring an area.